At the end of the day, it's such a limiting belief thinking that because you're younger, people won't want to work with you. If you come in and you know exactly what you're talking about, you have a specific process and they see you, oh, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's very educated on the market. He's very educated on what he does, like as a job, his craft. So if you're able to portray that, they really don't care how old you are. If I impress them with what I say and obviously what I'm going to do, there's no reason why they wouldn't list with me. Use the system works. Like you got to use the system one to take advantage of every feature that it has and then role play and practice, practice, practice. You want to get better, you have to skill up. Just practice, 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 and you're going to see the results.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Aaron Wittenstein, and I would like to welcome you all to Vulcan 7 Roadmap. This is where we teach agents across the country, from agents across the country, how to take an additional 2, 3, 4, just a lot of listings a week, okay? And we got a really cool guest here today, by the way, Kealan Green. He's in Massachusetts. Ironically, he's out of Worcester, Massachusetts, where my parents live. So we were shooting it a little bit about that. So Kealan, say hello to everybody, my friend. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm very good. Thank you for asking. So you were sharing a story, and I made you stop because I don't want to be surprised just like everybody else here. So can you just share a bit of your story, how you got to where you are right now, and a little bit about what happened with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Aaron was kind of to share, I'm 21 years old. I work as a realtor, and
21
I've been
years
doing
old.
it for about a year, a little over a year now, full time. So I was in school, I played football, went to college, transferred to UMass Amherst to play football. Broke my leg. I couldn't really play there, so I was like, wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to get into real estate, so at that point, I kind of had to make a decision of do I continue the track of going to college and then once I graduate, do I at that point get into real estate or do I kind of just drop it and go all in? And that's where I made my decision. I used kind of an internship with PwC as an excuse, and then I went all in on real estate as of April of last year. So a little over a year now. I've been doing it full time.
Two questions. Two questions. First off, what position did you play?
I played linebacker
Linebacker. Oh, he got right into that stuff over the middle or outside.
outside.
Outside linebacker. There you go. I already forgot. Oh, and you said, just so I want to rehash this, you are
Yep,
21 years old and you've been in real estate for a year. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay. So being so young, yeah, because I started when I was really young as well. I wish I was your age. I'm extremely, I don't want to say the word jealous, but envious of you. Okay. So what gravitated you towards this business?
So it was kind of funny. I saw somebody. So for the longest time, I didn't want like I didn't I like I knew about real estate, but I didn't want to do it. I actually wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon because I broke so many bones. Leg was not the first one. So I was set on that until I was about 17, and then I found this guy on Instagram, and he was doing commercial real estate development in Canada. I think it was Ontario. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I kind of looked into his story a little bit, found out that he got started as a real estate agent and then worked his way up doing residential and then commercial development.
Hmm.
So that's kind of how I got like it piqued my interest. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, why not just almost try and take a same path as him because he was at a point where I wanted to be. And I was like, okay, well, if I want to get to that point, why not just start here and then work my way up? And then as I got more into what real estate sales was, I was like, oh, there's a lot of opportunity here. So I've kind of focused more on the real estate sales. Once I got into it, I was like, oh, there's a lot of opportunity. Why not just stay here and make the most out of this while I can, and then I could figure out everything else later on.
Okay, so I'm sure I'm not the first person to tell you this. I would have never guessed you're 21 years old by the way that you carry yourself. Okay, and I know there's a lot of agents, that watch this, and agents across the country that are younger. How have you found the way to make it not an issue? Is the best way to put it.
What, being younger?
Being younger, yeah, yeah.
So initially I had that. At the end of the day, it's such a limiting belief. Thinking that because you're younger, this and that, people won't want to work with you, whatever the case may be, you can come up with a million excuses in your head as to why someone shouldn't work with you because you're young. But at the end of the day, they really don't care. And I kind of realized that as I began to educate myself, that people really don't care how old you are. If you come in and you know exactly what you're talking about, you have a specific process, and they see you, oh, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's very educated on the market. He's very educated on what he does, like as a job, his craft. So if you're able to portray that, they really don't care how old you are. I mean, sure, I have a beard, makes me look a little bit older, but people know I'm young. Everybody that I've been on appointments with, they all know I'm young, but it doesn't really change the fact that if I impress them with what I say and obviously what I'm going to do, there's no reason why they wouldn't list with me or work with me if I'm representing them on the buyer side.
Well, I think what you said is very important because it just doesn't go for, age or youth or being older or younger, is that you need to educate yourself and you need to know what you're talking about. Because when you can speak the language of what the people are trying to get, that's when you're going to see the, you know what I mean, like the desired result, right?
Of course, of course.
So what do you like? You enjoy expireds? You enjoy for sale by owner, circle prospecting? Like, what's your thing?
So I primarily built it up. I try to do for sale by owners. I still do for sale by owners. It's just in my specific market, they're really hard to come by.
Mm.
Like I'm in Worcester, and I've noticed like using Vulcan, a lot of the for sale by owners that I get are further out. For whatever reason, people in my market they don't like being for sale by owner, so they're kind of hard to come by. So I've primarily focused on expireds, and then I do like circle prospecting, just listed, just sold calls, things of that nature.
Okay, I know I'm gonna put you on the spot here, and hope it's okay because I'm an expired guy myself, and I always like to hear what my expired people have to say. Would you be open and amenable to a role play? Is that something you'd be okay with?
Yeah, sure.
All
That's
right,
not a
cool,
problem.
cool. Give me a ring, ring.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Aaron.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, this is Kealan Green. I was giving you a call about the property you have for sale here on 123 Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the reason for my call, I noticed that your home, it actually came off the market this morning as an expired listing. Was giving you a call, Aaron, obviously, simply to find out when you plan on interviewing agents again for the job of really just getting your home sold.
I think we're gonna give it a break for like 3 months or so, and you can give me a call back then if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be more than happy to do that. I'll write down right here 3 months from now. And if you don't mind me asking, I mean, you have a really nice home. Is there any reason in particular you were even considering selling this in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, we just wanted to kind of get out of Dodge a little bit, and I mean, did you show it when it was available, or?
Yeah, that's a great question. And to be completely honest, I actually didn't see that your property was on the market. I mean, I just now saw it briefly, and I actually didn't get a call from your previous agent. Um, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, how did you happen to pick the previous agent that you listed with?
It was my cousin.
Gotcha, gotcha. And were you very happy with the level of offers that you were receiving on the home?
We got one offer that was $153,000 under asking price. Other than that, no.
Wow, wow. I mean, let me ask you this. I mean, you said that it's obviously the goal is to still sell the property. Is that something that's still a priority for you? Or would you be okay with waiting 6 months, a year, 2 years to get the property sold?
Well, like I said, 3 months is kind of what we'd be looking at this point. I mean, if you have a buyer, you're more than welcome to bring him with. Do you have a buyer for the home potentially?
Yeah, that's a great question. We work with a lot of buyers and sellers here in the area, obviously, just because we do so much business. And at the same time, I don't want to insult your intelligence and tell you that I have a buyer at this present moment, because honestly, if anybody calling you did, this conversation wouldn't even be happening. You'd have an offer on the table. I mean, let me ask you this. If I could show you a way where it was virtually guaranteed that you could still get this home sold in the time frame that you were looking for and for a relatively good price, you think that'd even be worth 10 to 15 minutes of your time?
How can you guarantee that though?
No, of course. And just by you asking that demonstrates why we should get together. That way I could show you exactly what we would do to really get your property sold. So, I mean, I'm looking at my schedule here. I'm going to be in your area today and tomorrow. Do you think 3 or 5 would be better for you, Aaron?
I'm just going to give it to you right now. That was a great line right there, by the way. I like that a lot. Your pausing is second. You know that, right? Like your pausing is second to none when you're speaking.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Your cadence that you use is just like, and your voice sounds amazing. So what type of success are you seeing right now with the expired?
So a lot of times, obviously the market's really hot right now. So the tough thing is the expireds that do come up. I would say a good portion of them just aren't really motivated. So the success that I've really had was finding people, kind of weeding people out of, okay, I'm having these conversations, but a lot of them are motivated. But every so often, I'll find people that are really just frustrated with the process and finding the people that actually need my help. And I think that by getting these skills over the phone, I'm able to determine whether or not these people actually need my help and set appointments based on that. So it's been going well. They're just it's kind of weeding out a lot of people who aren't actually really motivated.
So I mean, if you had like in your perfect week, like you sit down, you look at your perfect week, how many appointments are like, how many appointments like constitute like a really good week for you?
um so this the first week of June, the June 1st, like you know how obviously a lot of people expires the first day of the month.
Yeah,
I set 5 appointments the first week.
that's pretty good.
Just expireds, yeah. Just expireds, and I think one was a canceled. But
Okay.
yeah.
So if you're setting 5 appointments, at that point, like, have you been on all of them, or are you still going on them, or what does that look like?
So one of them I went on today. I'm losing track of time. All my days mesh together at this point.
You're good,
Um,
man.
3 days ago. 3 days
Okay.
ago, I went on the appointment, and I took one of them. So that was a guy who expired the first. He interviewed like 5 different agents,
Wow.
and I ended up taking that listing the same day. And then I have one more that I went on that I kind of got there, and they were really like they weren't super clear on their time frame. I kind of had to make that decision. I pre-qualified them. It was kind of a business decision. It was like, okay, I know that they're going to sell. I don't know if their time frame is like they're going to sign on the spot. But I didn't get them to sign, but that one's going to be really good because they have to buy and sell. They're not interviewing any other agents. And then the other three that I have coming up, those are today and then two tomorrow.
All right, you got to message me when we're all done with this thing to let me know how they came. Can you do that?
100%.
I'm excited. No, that's a really good week. Figure 1 out of 2. You said 3, one's going to cancel, and then you list 1 out of 2 on a bad day. That should take you, 5 appointments should take you 2 to 3 listings. That's really, really, really good. So how many hours a day right now are you dialing? Are you putting in a typical 3-hour session? Extra than that? What does that look like?
So what I try to do now is I really try and just focus on prospecting as much as I can
Yeah.
because I think that I've known it's been a priority in the past, but I haven't 100% committed to doing like the 3 4 hours a day. I do it kind of I'd still do it 5 6 days a week, but I wouldn't make it my priority. I would let things come up and be like, oh, I have to go do this thing during this time. But in the past probably month or so, I've been consistent 3 to 4 hours a day. So I'll do 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then I'll do my follow up, and then I have role play calls at 11:30 to 12, and then some like coaching calls and stuff. And then I'll hop back on the phones at if I have like an hour in the afternoon or like an hour or two again in the evening. So I'm usually on the low end 3 hours, on the high end probably like 5 hours.
Well, it's crazy. It's like you go do that, you commit to the process, you focus, and you set 5 appointments, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, it works. It's daunting, but it works.
It's called repetitious boredom, my friend.
Yeah.
Is the best way to put it. All right, so this is one thing I want to bring it back to the role play, okay? Because I totally forgot to ask this. So when you said my name, you kind of had a thing that you did there
At the very beginning.
at the very beginning. Yeah, I'm bringing it back. I'm sorry, I forgot to. I
Oh
made a
yeah,
note
yeah,
of it here.
yeah.
I didn't make mention of it afterwards. Yeah, why do you like for repeating it back? What he did, he's like Keelan,
Yep.
and just pause right there. So what's the logic and reasoning behind doing that?
So initially, I say that because I want it to like incite curiosity. So I'll be like, Aaron, or I kind of do a mixture of like, is this Aaron or Aaron? But either way, it's to try and like incite curiosity to be like, who's calling me right now? Like, hello, who is this? Who's calling me? So it kind of engages them initially off the jump.
I'm going to assume that you get a pretty decent response from doing that, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You say, "Oh
if
yeah,
it
yeah,
if
that's
it's the
definitely."
actual right number, yeah, they're always like, how can I help you? Hello, who is this?
No, that's a good. I may actually attempt that and steal that. By the way, I like the way that sounds. So, all right. So you're lead genning from 8 to 11. You're doing your follow up from like 11 to 12, and then after you're doing some role play kind of mixed in the middle there. Then you're going on appointments. Does that sound like a pretty typical day?
Yeah, yeah, I try to set my appointments usually between like at the very earliest like 2. I try and do like administrative stuff around like the lunch, early afternoon time, and then ideally like a 3 to 6 or a 3 to 7 is like the appointment window.
No, that definitely works. So like, do you have like a morning routine that you go through every day to get you ready, or like what does that look like?
Yeah, so it's not for everybody. I found a guy really early on that he was doing a lot of production, and I was like, let me just copy his schedule. So he was getting up at 4:30, going to the gym for 5, and then usually like shower and be out by 6:30 or so. And then so that's kind of my thing is I'll get up in the morning, usually like pray. I like to read the Bible first thing in the morning for a little while. Then I'll just get ready, go right to the gym. Then I'll hit the gym for an hour 15. I try to be super efficient with that. Then shower right at the gym, drive to the office, do a little bit of script work. Then I'll get into role play. Then I'll get right into my calls.
So you're very, I mean, and I would assume, the football and the athletics really got you regimented. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of already a routine was kind of already in my thing. It was just shifting the routine around. Like I just brought it earlier in the morning, but
Yeah.
essentially with football, I would have morning workouts and stuff. So it kind of worked.
So what happens? I just want to see how you answer this one. Let's say a kink gets started, like your alarm doesn't go off in the morning. Then what happens to the day?
Um, it's like it kind of messes up my whole day. If I'm being completely honest, like I'll work around it, but I just usually I won't be able to go to the gym to like I've gotten my sleep schedule really good. That's what I focused on early on is because I was like, okay, I want to be as efficient as possible, so I just have to make my sleep as efficient as possible. So that's kind of what I focused on, and I got a really good sleep schedule, and my body kind of wakes me up. I keep an alarm just in case, but even if my alarm doesn't wake me up, which I've had happen a few times, I'll still wake up maybe like 20, 30 minutes later at
Right.
latest. So I'm not too thrown off my schedule, but I might just say, okay, I have to treat today as a rest day, or I'll try and get there later on if I can. And then I'll just try and go and work earlier and get like some administrative stuff done earlier. So then I have more time later to hit the gym.
All right. So you're before 30. What time are you going to bed?
Usually, I'm usually in bed and I try to be asleep by 9:30. Like I'm in bed 9, try to be asleep by 9:30 because I've tried to get less than that, and over an extended period of time, it doesn't work out. It's not good. My body, I need 7 hours. That's just me personally.
I'm right there. I need 7 days myself. I definitely. Otherwise, I'm a disaster in the morning. All right.
Yeah.
So like I said, you're a newer agent. Okay. You seem, you're having a lot of success right now, which is amazing. But let's say that a brand new agent comes walking down the corridor. I don't know what I'm saying that word for. Walking down the hallway. That's what I'm looking for here. Knocks on your door. He's like, Keelan, I've heard you've been actually crushing it. You said 5 appointments in a week. What is one piece of advice that you have for me?
Whatever you're gonna do, either like everything works. I would just say that you can cold call, you can door knock, whatever your case may be. I prefer cold calling. It's what I've built my business off of, but you just have to take action. Like you have to do it and you have to be really consistent with it. I think the consistency thing is the biggest part. Like if you're going to cold call, set whatever you realistically can set and commit to. If it's an hour, if it's 2 hours, if it's 3 hours, set it in there and don't let anything interrupt it. You just commit to it and just take action on it and don't let anything interrupt it. And if you do that over like an extended period of time, and you're consistent, you're going to see the results. And it just depends from there on volume. Even if you're not really skilled, I mean, you're going to come across people that are like, "Come over and list my house." Eventually, you know what I mean?
So what you're saying is get into action with whatever
Yeah,
it is. Just get
of
into
course.
action. All right, my friend. This is where our journey comes to a close here in a few minutes. What is one last piece, final word that you could give Vulcan Seven Nation here?
Um, I would say obviously use the system. The system works. Like you got to use the system one to take advantage of every feature that it has, and then role play and practice, practice, practice. You want to get better, you have to skill up. Just practice, 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 and you're gonna see the results. If people want to role play with me, you can message me. Whatever you want to do, I'm down to role play with people and practice. But you got to practice to get better. That's the only thing.
Wise words, wise words. Okay, so let's say someone from Tulsa, Oklahoma, an agent out that way, has a referral for Worcester, Massachusetts, or someone wants to role play with you and get in touch with you. What is the best way to get in touch with you, Kealan?
So you could message me on Instagram. It's sold by Keelan, or you could just text me on my phone number. It's 774-214-6114. Either way, I'll respond right away. Usually text is faster though.
Fair enough, man. Well, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Continued success. Like I said, you're a real estate baby within 1 year. It's absolutely amazing, and it just goes to show you that when you don't have any limiting beliefs around what you do, age doesn't make a difference whatsoever. It makes no difference whatsoever. So keep up the good work, and I want to thank everyone that came to hang out with us today at Vulcan 7 Roadmap. And do me a favor, go make some money. Take care.